Well, I look at this whole area, and the longer I look at it, I start to think, well, I could do this, I could change that, I could move this around. You start to fixate on things, and that's not a good plan. So, really, I guess the trick is to prioritize. And I'd like to, this is still too strong no matter what. Even if I do this, okay, I'm just going to take a little bit of, I'm going to white and yellow ochre. I'm getting rid of that really intense highlight. Oh, that helps. Now, need to keep this area in the same nature as these shapes, I think. But what I'll probably do is I've painted it in such a manner that this stands so proud of everything else. It's so much more forward. It just draws too much attention to itself and competes too hard with the scene itself, or with what I want to be the strength in the scene. So I suppose what I'll do here is try to sort out a way to blend. That's still too high a value. Yeah, not too bad, I guess. Maybe to take away part of this line. I was going to just smear it at first, but I think it needs more than that. I think it needs to be taken away to some degree. Because I believe this needs to feel as though it's part of the larger cloud that's behind it. So let's see what happens. That's fairly high chroma, but that might be alright. Yeah, I'm going to go more towards purple. I'm going to add a bit of ultramarine blue to my mixture of yellow ochre, alizarin crimson, and white. Just take a bit of the lead out of it. And in doing so, maybe add, well, I don't know, we'll see. Maybe adding some lead elsewhere, but for the moment, I think we're just going to do that. I'm working with a little bit of oil in this as well. A little bit of linseed oil. Lighten the values here. A little more. A few scumbling strokes. Let it fade off. And just get rid of that line completely. It's not quite as smooth anymore, which is good. That's what we're after. Tone that down a little bit. And of course remove the odd renegade hair from my brush as I go. I'm using a flat brush. I don't mind using a flat brush right now because it helps me to maybe break a little bit from the very rounded shapes. I don't think it's hurting anything to do that. Okay, a little more ultramarine blue, alizarin crimson. Values are really the name of the game right now. And some line removal. Well, I don't mind telling you, I'm not overly impressed with the attempt at this improvement. But, you know, sometimes it just pays to be patient. We'll see how it goes. Okay, still too high a value. Let's see what happens if I just do that. No, that's too brown. Added a little yellow, or added a little raw umber to that. That was immediately regrettable. Okay. I keep reinforcing it as a blob, as a piece of cotton batten, and I just need to get away from that. I don't want that. Well, very slowly I think we're heading in the right direction. Yeah, so this is a little more blurred, this is more crisp. You know, this is more becoming more part of the main mass, becoming less important. This is jumping out. That's good. It's in a way it's another aid to shift our area of interest over to the right. Now, I'm not overly fond of this upside down teardrop. It's stylized. I know this guy's very stylized, but I would prefer it if it wasn't too stylized in the wrong places. So what shall I do about that? Okay, well, we'll start with this. Let's carve away at this edge. I don't think we need to have an edge that looks like that. I think that just looks... Don't like the teardrop. I don't even necessarily like this shooting up the way it is. So if I'm going to talk about not liking something, then I should probably just get rid of it. And I am using the fairly new flat square shouldered brush at the moment, but frankly I don't want to dirty a second one, and right now it's just fine. I'm not scrubbing really hard, not too much anyway. Okay, it's heading in the right direction, I believe. Okay. We'll go back to that same pile. Add a little more yellow ochre and a little more white. Well, that's a little too chalky. Add a little bit of alizarin crimson to it. Okay, that has a feel. I keep carrying on like this, I'm going to end up with an entirely different design. Well, I've got that color, I may as well. Just play with that. Okay, now this dark and dirty under here, I would like that to appear to be, of course, gradually under this thunderhead. So I'm going to put a little more light here, not too much. Because we want this to appear, this to appear under that. So just doing it in steps. Okay, I'm going to sit and have a look at this. I think that all in all, as a body of work in this area, as it pertains to the relationship with the rest of the painting, I think we're getting better. I'm doing much more work on this than I anticipated, but sometimes I'm just driven to do that. We'll see if it was a good idea or not. Well, I'm becoming far more engaged in this painting than I had planned to. But I'm really happy with this. Made some adult decisions and adult changes. I think that's nice. I like that. But something that still is bothering me a little bit, and okay, I need some grooming in here. Yeah, there's some various small things I'm going to do, certainly. But if you want to see, if you really want to see how your painting's going, you need to back up. And I'm still seeing somewhat of a hole here. And I think the way to to give more support to the ground, because our support really is only as narrow as this, you know, and then we have this large flourish of flamboyant cloud on top. I think I'd like to give it a little more support. But if we look in this area, to my eye, this mass of land still has the appearance of a bit of floating on the water. Because it doesn't pick up, it picks up light, and that's fine in certain circumstances, but I think at the moment we can reflect some of these values, these very dark values, in the water below them. That will not only help to, what shall I say about that? Lend some viability to the actual light conditions by lowering the value here and making the water stronger and less important at the same time. Stronger, lower in value, but still less important at the same time. I guess we'll just have to see how that goes. So that'll support the islands. It will also make this entire mass at the bottom stronger, and I think balance things out a little bit. I know I could leave the painting as it sits, and I'd be happy with it. But for some reason, I'm at the moment fixating on fixating. So, as bad as that can be, I'm pretty sure I've come up with a solution that to a problem that's been bothering me for a little while, and that is how small this little bit is here. I could take these colors and put it in this rock and make the foreground very dark. I don't want to do that. I like the sophistication of the colors in this rock and the little bit higher values, which actually reflect much of the color in the sky. The water isn't a very large, it's an important but not a very large mass in the design. So I think what I'm going to do is take some of these values and go even darker. I darkened it already, but I'm going to go even darker across here to support the island, or support this landmass, and give just more power to the foreground. Let's see how that goes. Now, I don't want to go back to hitting it with a bunch of detail here. I just want to darken it. So we're going to stay with that. I'm not going to allow that extra line to sit right there. Now my brush dries out. I think I'll leave that. Leave this line sitting here, at least for the moment. Boy, this canvas is quite loose. It's okay, but it's a little on the loose side. Oh yeah, okay, I think that's gonna work. Add a little more white to it, just to... A little more white and a little bit of raw umber. Playing, playing, playing. Hope I don't regret it. I've already gone over this spot once. This is the second time. I really don't want to tackle it the third time. Partly because I'm lazy, and also because it'll begin to show once you start to get too many layers of paint in an area. You know, unless you're glazing, of course, but that's a different story. You're going in much thinner, even much thinner than I am now. So I think that's good. I think that's helping to support the foreground now. I think that's working. But what I'm going to do is, that's very light. We'll get rid of that. And we'll get rid of this one. And we'll get rid of this one. Well, not get rid of it, just darken it a little. Let's see here. I'd like to maintain a bit of this getting browner towards the right hand side and going up in value, so I'll do that as well. Adding a hint of alizarin crimson to it. Okay. Wasn't trying to color match, but I did want to go over it with a fairly dry brush to allow some of the substrate, some of the color underneath to show through. Okay, let's step back and have a little look at that. Yeah. The bottom's punchier now, got some strength to it. It can support all this foo-fa on top. Yeah, I like it. Good progress. Alright, back to the sky. Well, the power keeps going out. I was having the same issue yesterday, actually. So, I just get up and running, and then we lose our light. It's happened a few times today, too. So, well, we'll see how it goes. Maybe what I'll just do is see if there's a window of power long enough that I can upload this today. And we'll hope for better tomorrow. I can't see well enough to paint, and I cannot do any work on the computer without some power. Okay, talk to you soon.